at our next guest. Any pound-for-pound list that's out there in boxing, this man makes an appearance. He is one of the best fighters in the world, obviously. He is the current IBF and WBO super bantamweight champion, and on October 13th, he is going to be fighting in the biggest fight of his career, against Toshiaki Nishioka in Carson, California. Without further ado, we're proud to welcome Mr. Nonito Donaire, the Filipino Flash, right here on ATG Radio. What's going on, champ?
Pretty good, man. How you guys doing?
Excellent. Hey, man, I just want to run through the introduction, everybody that's on the show real quick. Mike Dawson's going to set it off. Obviously, Michael Dawson's here, Tim Cudgett, Mark Abrams, Chris Robinson, Chris Gunn, and there's others. Brian Paul is actually in the house joining us as well, the Bean City Boys. But I'm going to set you off. I'm going to hand you over, Nonito, to Mike Dawson.
Hey, Nonito, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, bro. How are you?
Pretty good. One question I have. I mean, the last three fights, even with Nishioka, you're fighting very quality opposition. But the only problem with it, there's some interference. Somebody has a speakerphone on. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
You there, dog?
Yeah, somebody's interfering.
You gotta battle through it. When Nonito has a cut over his eye, or his hand's broken, or whatever, you just fight through it, right? And no dead air.
Oh, man.
You got time for anybody's problem.
Well, what I was getting at is, the last couple of guys you fought, they've been really, really quality guys. Narvaez, and now, Nishioka, all these guys are quality opponents. I mean, Narvaez actually went back a division and is still the champion where he's at. He's had a couple of defenses. You're still the only guy he's ever lost to. But the only problem with these guys, they're not known in the States. I mean, Nishioka is a quality guy. Maybe one, next to you, one of the best ones in the division. But he's just not known by the mainstream guys, the mainstream American fan, or basically mainstream fans in general. What are your thoughts about, getting all these fights under your belt and not getting the big guys yet? Is it frustrating to you? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of the guys in the 122 division and below are pretty much not known, and that's pretty much what it is, That's why we fight our best every time we go in that ring, because we want to be known. We want people to watch us fight, But I think that this is the beginning for me, 122, 126, hopefully that I can make it happen. But to me, my main concern is fighting the guys that I want to fight, and this is a guy that I want to fight since, for quite some time now. So, I'm happy with the opposition with Nishioka, on October 13th. But there is a little bit of frustration, I guess, in the little guys' weight, when no one really is paying attention much, because we hardly get on TV or anything like that. But I'm happy because all my fights lately have been I've been on HBO, and and a lot of fans have supported it. And I just see it's just the beginning of things, But there's really nothing that I can do in terms of their credibility or being known in the United States. I mean, these guys are world champions, so I aim for that.
One question I have, it's kind of a tough one. No disrespect at all, but I got to ask you this question. Just something that's really I've been wondering about. You're actively, with the VADA, you're actively getting tested all the time. You're one of the main, another main Filipino guy, another guy that does not really, go with the VADA, does not really take a lot of tests. What's your reasoning? Kind of talk about that. And why do you think that Manny Pacquiao doesn't go through the VADA testing? And are you just trying to kind of prove a point, or?
There's no point. My point is, I was this little kid who never was anything. I was this kid who was bullied in school, who never thought that I could be at this level, and I guess I'm doing this for the fans, for my fans and for the good of boxing, for the good of myself as well, that, I made it, this far, being that kid who always was picked on in school to becoming one of the best fighters in this division, or in one of the pound-for-pound guys, and to me, an inspiration is one thing that I fight for, because I believe in it, and I believe that the kid that I was growing up was inspired to do the things that I'm doing. So I'm always the fair guy. I've always done things the right way, and I'm doing it because I want to let the fans know that from nothing to something, this kid made it happen by his own sheer hard work and the faith in himself. But I mean, other guys out there, they're big guys. I mean, like I say with Pacquiao, he's a big guy. He's one of the top guys, and when you're being told to do it, you have a voice, because I mean, especially if your rival's telling you that you're doing this, I'm like, man, why should I listen to you? I ain't got nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing, I mean, it could be that mentality with them. I mean, for me, I do it for my own reason because of how I grew up and how boxing inspired me to be who I am. So that's why I do the things that I'm doing with VADA testing. But, there's a lot of guys out there, they have their own reason. And like same with the critics, they have their opinion, and it just stands to be their own opinion, and it stands to be in their own faith and their beliefs, and they have the right to do so.
Well, speaking of Manny Pacquiao, you ask a lot of mainstream fans and a lot of fans in general. They say Manny Pacquiao is always first. Then they keep on talking about Filipino fighters, and then your name comes up, and then like Brian Valoria. You've been kind of in the shadows of Manny Pacquiao for a long time. Is that and you work hard every time, you fight good guys, but you haven't had, I mean, since Darchinian and since Montiel, you haven't really had that key victory. Is it something that just motivates you, or is it sometimes is there any animosity there?
No, to me it's an honor. It's a blessing for me. I mean, come on, that's one of the best fighters. That's like being compared to like Muhammad Ali if you were Sugar Ray Leonard then. You know what I'm saying? Or Duran or Gray at the time. You know what I mean? It's all an honor, man. I mean, I've always taken it as that, and I will always take it as that. I do what I do when I'm inside that ring, and I just perform the best that I can, and not regret anything when I'm outside that ring. That's pretty much how I've always lived my life and my mentality towards things. You just got to go big, do your best every time, and enjoy every moment of it.
Well, hey, I want to do one more quick question. That's all I got. One more quick question. You do other things. You're in photography, among other things. You kind of multitask a lot, kind of like Manny Pacquiao does. One thing I got to ask you: Manny Pacquiao versus Nonito Donaire in a singing competition. Who wins that?
I don't know. Like I said, he believes in himself. I believe in myself. I leave it up to the people if that is. But one thing is for sure, that'll be some fundraiser, that will go and help the people in whatever it may be. I think it's a good idea, but with me, I don't compete with anything except for the guy in front of me in that ring. I always have fun, and I just go with that. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, champ. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris Robinson, Examiner.com. I know you're familiar with Chris Robinson, Nonito. He's everywhere. BoxingScene.com, CR Harmony. Chris.
Hey, yeah, Nonito, how you doing, bro?
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Good. Well, the last time I talked to you, I know you moved your camp here. Tell me back to Undisputed up Northern California. Could you just kind of tell me, like, why that gym is so special to you, and what is how is camp going this time around?
Camp is great. I mean, we've worked hard. We've worked really hard, and we're ready for this fight. One thing why I love this camp and where I'm here is because I got my people here, people I trust, people I call family, and they push me, they make me work hard, and it's an overall thing. It's feeling good. When you're in there, you get the people who you trust, who cares for you the same way. I mean, there's no other place to be, and everybody's just pushing each other to do their best, and and motivation is definitely the key here. Why I'm here.
And do you have any thoughts on the Abner Mares Anselmo Moreno fight? Like, how would you break that one down?
I think that's a good fight. That's a really, really good fight. I think that Mares is a tough kid, and he's going to go in there and pressure as much as he can because he needs to. And Moreno can just can box like he always does. Being lefty, it's always hard, to catch you and stuff like that. But with Mares, I mean, with Moreno, when he fought, the guy that I fought, Sidorenko, when Sidorenko was pressuring him, he was having a hard time, and it was a split decision and stuff like that. So that's the key for Mares, It's an interesting matchup.
And the last thing I was going to ask you, I know Robert Garcia, he's kind of balancing his time between, you and his camp in Oxnard with Brandon Rios and those guys. Is it hard kind of not having him in your camp every day? I mean, and what is it like kind of, seeing him here and there as opposed to the full camp?
I mean, we've always worked that way, with Robert. He comes in and he gets a crucial information, and they go back and forth with my guys, and I understand that. I ain't got nothing but love for Robert, and we know that I always work hard. So, Robert's a good coach. He has good eyes, and we trust him. And he comes in there for sparring. He goes out and does his thing, and we're fine with that.
Got you, man. Well, good luck to you, bro.
Nonito, let me before we got Chris Guns on here, and I think he's going to probably grab this question, but I'm going to steal it from him. I don't know if him and I have the same mind, but I got to ask you like this, man: the ongoing saga between you and Guillermo Rigondeaux. I mean, it's a lot of people talking about that fight possibly going down. Some people are saying Top Rank don't want to put that fight on. How open are you to making that fight happen? There's no getting past, you have to get past Nishioka first. I know that for a fact. I know that's what you're focusing on. But what's the whole Guillermo Rigondeaux situation?
Look, all I do is wait for whoever they put in that name in that line next to mine, and I don't care who it is. It's always been me, and I'll fight whoever it is. I mean, there's a lot of things that goes on that people don't understand. It could be negotiation process. It could be, legal disputes between managers and whatnot, But ultimately, with me, if his name is right there, right next to mine, that's all I focus on. And if it's Rigondeaux, then let's do it. With me, I want to stay in this division for as long as I can, But if that fight doesn't happen, I know 122 should be. I'm pretty small at 122 right now, but moving up to 126 is a good thing. But I'm not ready for 126 right now. My body's not ready for it right now, so I want to stay as long as I can here until my body's ready for it. And there's a lot of opportunity for that fight to happen. And if that fight happens, that'll be good.
Nonito, one more question from me, and everybody else can get their final questions in. What is that one fight? I mean, if you had to, and I know you got to think about it, but what's that one fight that makes you're one of the best fighters in the world, but the one thing that you're not yet is that bona fide pay-per-view star? If you had to move up 2-3 weight classes, what's that one fight that you think can get you there?
I think it'll be a Gamboa fight. I think it'll be a Gamboa fight, a Broner fight, all those fights. I think those are the fights that's going to be pay-per-view type of fights, But, I'm not there yet. I'm still at 122, and I'm still going to build my body up for that type of a fight. I mean, I know that my power will carry. That's one thing I don't doubt. It's just how my body can produce a lot of weight to be comfortable in that division, because I'm still trying to be comfortable in this division. So overall, I want to reach to the very top of what I can do, and then we want to take it little by little, step by step. At 126 to 130, if we can right away, just make it happen. I mean, I think that you know, it's one of those things. I mean, I've accomplished a lot in my time of fighting, and it's just fighting the best out there and reaching out to you know, for those type of fights.
Mark Abrams, I know you needed to get in there, Mark.
What's up, Nonito?
How you doing?
Doing all right. You know, along with Abner and some of the other guys that are mentioned, kind of really brought the little guys back. You know, guys under 130 pounds, back to be in vogue, I guess, again in boxing. What are your thoughts about that? That you guys, below 135, 140 pounds, are starting to get the attention that you guys have probably deserved for a long time.
Well, like I said, we've trained as best as we can, and we've always fight to the death, But sometimes, there's only a few out there that can produce knockouts, and that's why maybe I'm one of the guys that's watching this division, is because I do produce knockouts, when people are in front of me. But aside from that, there's a lot of international fighters out there that are on the elite level of this division, and that's why they're not getting the notoriety as much as the bigger guys. But we do fight our best, and we try to entertain, But if we do have guys who are from around here in the United States, I think that this division will be brightened up a little bit.
One other guy who hasn't been mentioned that much in this conversation, kind of some new blood into the division. He's fought on a couple big cards, and a lot of people thought he stole the show. Was a guy named Leo Santa Cruz. What are your thoughts on him?
I've never really seen him fight. I've heard that he's calling me out, like everybody else. He's a fighter. He's a fighter, and we all know that, people who are vulnerable with me, who gets hit with me, it's not going to last. But, I've never seen him fight, so I can't say and assist how well he is, but he's making it happen. He's making his waves, and that's good. That's a good thing, because, if he can put up a good fan base, I'm more than willing to make that fight happen. But I don't know anything about the kids, so, right now I'm just focused on the guys that's right in front of me, and that's Nishioka.
Hey, Nonito, one last guy I gotta deliver you to. It's Chris Dunn, ProBoxingInsider.com. Chris.
Thank you, guys.
Last but certainly not least.
One of the worst things you could do is be last, because someone always steals your questions. All my questions got asked pretty much, but I wanted to know, Nonito, you are one of the best fighters in the world, but when you watch someone else like Rigondeaux, you must think to yourself how impressive he looks, and you can't possibly know you can beat him until you do. What makes Guillermo Rigondeaux so dangerous for you to fight? Do you consider him a dangerous fight for you?
To be honest with you, I haven't really seen him fight except for that one fight that he had trouble with on the HBO fight, the first time they put him in HBO, and after that, they were saying a lot of good stuff about him, so I wanted to check him out and see how it was, and I wasn't impressed. Maybe I should have watched his other fights to be impressed, but that fight really turned me off on Rigondeaux and how he needs to grow, and I've always felt that way. That's why I'm not really interested in the fight as much as I am interested with Nishioka. But again, if they do make that fight happen for me, I'm more than willing to accept that fight. But of course, being a southpaw is always going to be a danger to everybody. But I have always considered everyone, including Arce, including all these other guys that people are saying washed up and stuff like that. They're always going to be dangerous. To have two hands, they know how to fight, But with Rigondeaux, I think that a lot of people are saying he's fast, and he got a good straight. I'm facing a guy who's been in this division and who has speed and power, but a lot bigger than Rigondeaux, and that's Nishioka. I've always felt that Nishioka was on top of this division, like I felt Montiel was on top of the 118 division, and I always seek for who I want to fight, and this is the guy that I want to fight, But again, if they top rank HBO make that fight happen, I'm more than willing and welcome that type of fight.
Nonito, real quick, let me jump in there real quick, Chris. Thoughts and prediction, speaking, we mentioned, Doss mentioned Manny Pacquiao earlier. I want to get your thoughts on Pacquiao-Marquez IV and your prediction for that fight, real quick, if you can.
Well, we've seen Manny slow down a little bit. Maybe this will inspire him to prove, because, this fight is kind of like an all-out kind of taking fight. A lot of people are saying, hey, this guy should have won, that guy should have won. And I think that whoever wins this convincingly is most likely the better fighter overall, even though, Manny has won majority of it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that if Manny can bring in his speed over again and be smart about it like he has in the beginning, and just that sheer raw talent that he had, that raw energy that he has, I think that he can overwhelm Marquez. But again, Marquez already has his number. Both fighters know each other well, so it might look to be the same type of fight to me, unless somebody just has a different ideas towards going to this fight. I think that it's going to be a close fight, and for me, I don't, I'm always going to go with somebody who who has that advantage, and I think that Manny with his speed and his power, and if he can push it, I think that he's going to win this fight. But, a lot of people can disagree with that.
Nonito, you a Niners or a Raiders fan?
I'm actually both fans, but I'm more of a Niners fan, because a lot of guys that come into the gym, like Frank Gore and Jacobs, Brand Jacobs, they go to the gym, and I always, kick it with them and stuff like that. But I've always been a big Niner fan growing up, because when I grew up in the Bay Area, the Raiders was in the L.A., so I came to love the Niners, and then the Raiders came in because a lot of my friends were Raider fans. Brian Schwartz, my trainer, is a Raider fan, but he trains with Frank, and he's always cool with everybody, but I am a big Niner fan.
Wait, there's this guy who used to be on the show, Bubba Gage, and if he's listening right now, he once ragged on me because I said I had two favorite teams in the NFL. I had two favorite teams. My first team is the Giants, and I guess the second team, because it's my hometown, are the Eagles. And he's like, you can't have two teams. If you're listening, Nonito Donaire has two teams.
I do have
two
teams.
About.
Man.
See?
I do have
Nonito
two
and I,
teams.
we got two teams in this.
I'm a Bay Area fan, though. I'm a Bay Area fan, so I got the Raiders, I got the A's, I got the Giants. I got the Niners, but the Warriors for me, I can never trade that with anything else. So I'm a Bay Area fan. I've always been, and I always will.
What did the Warriors fan do after he won the NBA championship?
What was that?
Here, it's a joke. What did the Warriors fan do after he won the after his team won the NBA championship?
If they ever do, I think we'll.
No, it's a joke. You're supposed to say what? It's a joke. Wait, one more time, Nonito. What did the Warriors fan do after his team won the championship?
We'll probably drop all the bridges, man, because he's gonna go down like that.
No. I gotta say the joke. You have to say what? You just say what.
Okay. I got it. Okay, what?
For you to use in the gym. What?
Okay, got it. What?
He turned off the Xbox and went to bed.
I got it. But
use that at the gym. Use that at the gym.
I might use that, man. But I'm always wishful. That's always been me. I'm always wishful. So we might see it in a couple of years. I think, and I pray about it, and I believe. That's what happens with me.
Nonito, let me tell you something. I know Chris had one more question for you. Nonito, you are the man, and I got to give a shout-out to Mrs. Rachel Donaire for hooking this up, helping me make this happen. You're the man, bro. I just got to say that. You're one of the best fighters in the world. I can't wait till you move up. I know you're doing your thing, dominate each and every division. I can't wait till you move up. The wish list you said to make you that pay-per-view star. Man, anybody on here, who wouldn't love to see Nonito move up and fight a Broner or Gamboa? That don't get no better than that, man. I know Nishioka, I'm excited for this fight, man. I'm coming out to Carson to see this fight, dude. So people are talking about Alvarado and Brandon Rios. I just think both fights, it's just going to be a friggin' gore fest, I think. I think both you guys are going to go in there and murder each other.
It's going to be insane. The card itself is amazing, so everybody got to check it out, man. It's going to be what you're going to expect. With Alvarado and Rios, they're training hard, and Rios already trying to make his weight right now. So, you already know that these guys are really, really into this. And for me, for Nishioka, we've been wanting this fight for the longest time, so you guys gotta check it out. But again, thank you guys for having me, and I've always had fun. Thank you guys.
Yo, Nonito, love to get you back on the show after the fight to celebrate, man. Like I said, thank Mrs. Donaire. All the best, man. October 13th, man. You have a great night, bro.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a good one. Thank you.
Take care, man.